Welcome back to High Gain Guitar Academy. My name is Neil, and today we are going to do the picking and strumming warm-up. Before I go on stage or perform or anything, I always like to warm up, and sometimes it's the most simple fundamental skills that get you there. This warm-up will largely be focused on your picking hand, and we will use your fret hand for some things, but it's mostly going to be focused on your picking and strumming. Think about it this way. If your picking hand is the gas, and your fret hand is the steering, both have to work together to get where you're going. If I'm steering the car but I'm not hitting the gas, I'm not gonna go anywhere. So this picking strumming hand is gonna be very important. Let's get into the warm-up. I like to start out with some light up-down alternate strumming. I'm gonna use a simple E chord, for example. You can pick whatever chord you want, but I'm gonna use an E chord, follow along. Just some simple up and down strumming. It's all about the timing. So try to stay even and focused and on whatever tempo you set for yourself. Notice I'm not doing anything fancy, it's just about getting your timing down. Stay on whatever tempo you set for yourself. If it helps you to practice with a metronome, do that. But it's very important, especially before you perform, for people, your adrenaline's going, you're excited, you're getting ready for your big moment, but you've got to stay calm and not rush ahead or fall behind. You've got to stay on the beat. It's very important. So once I've done the basic up and down strumming a few times and I feel like my timing is pretty much in sync, I'll start adding in patterns. So I'm going to run through a few of them with you. Follow along. The first one is going to be down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down. It's a good idea to play along with me, but it's an even better idea to pause the video, practice this on your own for a minute, and then come back, okay? So always take your time to learn at your own speed as well as mine. The next pattern is going to be down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. These aren't really complicated. They're more just about getting your timing right, just getting in sync with the beat. Let's do a couple more. The next pattern is going to be down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. For the last one, let's make it a little bit more complicated, nothing too crazy. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. These are pretty easy. It's really easy. It's just about getting your timing down. I can't stress that enough, guys. Without timing, your band would be a mess. Your playing would be a mess. Think about drummers without timing, or your bass player, your entire rhythm section. Just because you're a guitar player does not mean you're exempt from the rules of timing. Remember that. Once I've run through my pre-made patterns, I like to just freestyle a bit. I'm just gonna switch through some chords and do some random down-up strumming in different orders. But it's important to remember, while I'm loosening up by doing a freestyle thing, I'm never gonna lose track of my timing. Another thing I'd like to point out about my strumming, especially in that last bit where I was just kind of freestyling things, is my dynamics. Not all of my strums were loud, not all of my strums are quiet. There was a lot of in-betweens and a lot of volume, velocity sort of variations, right? So keep that in mind when you're doing those first patterns we did too. Try changing up the volume of each strum. Let's say we went back to the very first one we did. Down, 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 up, down. If they're all the same volume, it could sound a little bit cold. So let's try doing quiet, loud, quiet, quiet, loud. adds a little more human feeling to it, right? All the examples of strumming we just used were based on open chords, but you can apply this to bar chords as well. So after doing that for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, I feel pretty good about moving into more picking. I'm gonna keep this real simple. I'm gonna go through each string on a single fret. Let's say I'm just using the 5th fret of each string, starting at the big E, going all the way through to the little E. I'm gonna pick each string once with a down pick. Then go backwards. Now that seems incredibly easy, but then I'm going to start to speed that up. So once you speed it up, you can see how it starts to become more difficult and you have to really be accurate and very precise. Once I've done that a few times, I'm going to double down and do 2 picks per string. It's going to be a down up. We're going to start using our alternate picking. So down up on the big E, then on the A, then on the D, and so on. Same example, we're just going to use the 5th fret, down up on each string. Now, as far as your fret hand, you can use 1 finger, 2 fingers, it doesn't really matter, just do whatever's comfortable for you. As I speed up on these patterns, it's good to be aware of the direction you're holding your pick. Now, sometimes I like to do what's called flat picking, where the pick is exactly flat with the string. As I strike the string, it's just hitting the string flat on. So I get good volume, good grip on the string. But when I start speeding up, I might angle my pick a little. That way, instead of the flat pick hitting the string and slapping the string, it kind of slices through a bit. So when you're alternate picking, going up and down, your pick is going to slice through the string a little bit more than just slapping down on it. Watch how I do the flat picking the first couple times, and then I'll switch to angled picking. Now the angled. It doesn't look like much of a difference, but when you're talking about the precision of guitar playing, millimeters can make a huge difference in your playing and your tone. All right, we've done single picking, double picking, now we're gonna do triplets. Triplets are a little bit trickier because each time you switch to a new string, you've reversed directions. So for the first string, the big E, we'll pick down, up, down. But then we go to the A, up, down, up. Go to the D, down, up, down. Go to the G, up, down, up. So you see how each time you go to a new string, your picking is flipped upside down. So this is actually a really good exercise to do triplets. Let's give it a try. Yes, tricky indeed. Okay, now we're moving on to quadruplets. We're gonna do the same thing we did before with the down up, but it's gonna be 2 sets of down up per string. Down up, down up. This is where we wanna start increasing our speed. We're starting to loosen up and, kind of get in the zone here. So we're gonna start out the big E string on the 5th fret, just like we've been doing. Notice how as I speed up, my picking gets smaller and tighter. There's not as big motions. There's more just little tiny motions. It's almost like I'm scratching off a lottery ticket. Just little bitty tiny picks. Remember, millimeters of difference in your motion and your technique can make a huge difference in your guitar playing, especially when it comes to speed. The final segment in our picking and strumming warm-up is going to be using your fret hand a little bit more. We're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so first fret, second, third, fourth, using these 4 fingers. We'll number them: pointer 1, middle 2, ring 3, pinky 4. So it's all 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna start out with single picks, starting on the big E string. Then move to the A string, and so on. I know it doesn't sound that great. It doesn't sound very musical, but it's really just all about getting the picking and the fingers to start to lock up and work together. And don't forget, we're always going to do it backwards too. So I like to practice that a few times with single picks. Then we're going to go to doubles. So for each note, you're going to do a down up. And of course, do that one backwards too. Now we're going to triplets, okay? So remember, with the triplets, every time I go to the next note, I'm going to be reversed. Down, up, down, go to the next note, up, down, up, and it's going to continue that way. So let's do it. Backwards again. So the last one is the quadruplets, the down, up for each note. This one, at this point, I like to go a little bit faster just because I feel like I started to warm up. So let me show you how I do it. And again with that one backwards too. I remember at some point when I first started learning guitar, I started getting pretty good at going up, but then coming down was like falling downstairs, not so good. So I had to catch up on going the other direction. So don't let that happen to you. Before we conclude this session, I want to give you a tip that I use. It's something that I call emphasis picking. I think about a drummer doing a drum roll and how sometimes the first hit will be stronger than the rest. Let's say I'm doing 4. Da, 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 da. The first one in every measure of 4 is going to be a little bit harder, helping to keep him on the beat. Da 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 da. So sometimes when I'm training myself on picking, I like to use that emphasis to help keep myself on the beat. As I get better at it, I don't need to do that as much. It doesn't have to be as pronounced. But initially, I feel like it really helps to keep you on time and on track, especially when you're learning to play fast. All right, guys, we've talked about strumming. We've talked about picking. I gave you a little tip with the emphasis picking. Take it and learn it and use it and love it, and I will see you soon.